opponent because recently, and that's a fact, Scott Fausto, which is a sales rep for CoFile, made a $3,000 donation to my opponent. It's not illegal, I mind you, it's not illegal, but is it unethical? Ask yourself that. Would it be unethical for a sales rep that is representing your office and donating to your campaign? Now, yes, there is a lot of issues. I plan to go in there and review the system to see how it's operating and what are the complaints that are going on.
If there are any complaints about CoFile, I have not heard about it, so please send them to me. On the contrary, we have had everybody that has been elated with that new system. The old software that we had, ACS, has been on the same platform for over 30 years. It was an antiquated system, but there was no way out because a county our size, there's not too many vendors out there that can service a county our size. This new system, the CoFile system that we are currently on, is one of the most robust systems and the only of its kind that is on the cloud in the whole entire nation. We were proud to be first down here in South Texas to take that on. I currently receive regular phone calls from other parts of the state and other parts of the country. They want to see what we're doing in Hidalgo County, and I'm proud of that. I am really proud of that. So again, if there is a complaint, please send them to me. Please, I have not heard one. Thank you.
How do you plan on running your administration, and how does this benefit Hidalgo County?
Well, if elected, which God willing I will, I plan to go in there and look at the budgetary needs. For the past 3 years, my opponent has, and his top 8 staff, the 3 top ones, have requested for pay increases. But the employees have suffered as far as the increases. They've only gotten the 3% increase, which is the cost of living. I personally plan to go in there, if elected, take myself a budget cut and not win the $120,000 a year. Give it back to the employees, because that's one of the things that I've recently learned from my boss, which he just walked in. He always cares for the employees of that office and throws the money at the employees and what is needed in the office, not in his pocket. That's what I plan to do.
Was the question about salaries? What was the question? Was it salaries?
How do you plan on running your administration, and how does this benefit Hidalgo County?
I plan to have the best and most talented administrative team in my office, and I am blessed to have them today.
Yeah.
That is why we are an example to the rest of the state of Texas. I kid you not. You call around. We are a model office for the state of Texas, and I'm proud of that. You know, this gentleman was mentioning things about salaries. When it comes to salaries, the county has not, he's mistaken, they haven't been given raises. And the commissioner's here to answer that if you want to ask him personally. We have not been given raises. But we are taking on the challenge of providing a fair and adequate pay scale system for all county employees, for all 4,000 county employees. And we met for a period of 18 months to establish a step and grade system. And all of the departments in the county that we were meeting regularly elected me as the chairperson of that whole thing. I was the chairperson of the Step and Grade Committee. Here in the next month or two, I am hopeful that Hidalgo County is going to adopt that pay scale to make fair and equitable pay for all of our employees, so that they can see how they can move upward in their positions and what is out there for them. That has never been there, and I'm proud to have been a part of that, and I think it's going to be a true success story for Hidalgo County. Thank you.
As an elected official, the county clerk should be someone equally present in the community as any other office. How do you plan on doing so?
Well, currently we're always involved in the community, like I said. In the city of Hidalgo, we're always on the road, we're always talking to people, we're always interacting with people. That's one of the things that I've learned in the past year in this administration that I've been. And that's one of the things that I plan to carry on into the county clerk's office. Be involved in the community, be involved in what's going on. As I've been block walking these past, I guess, 5-6 weeks, I've been in Mission, I've been in Westlaco, I've been in Elsa, people don't know who the county clerk is. They ask me and I tell them who they are, who I'm running against. They don't know, they've never met them. I plan to be involved and be part of their lives and help them in whatever way I can.
Can you repeat that question?
As an elected official, the county clerk should be someone equally present in the community as any other office. How do you plan on doing so?
Absolutely, I agree. I spend many a day out in the community, meeting with our current elected officials up and down the county. We do whatever we can to promote our office externally from within. We have put all of our records online. You talked earlier about open government. Hidalgo County today is more open than ever before because we are the caretakers of those records. And that's how we connect to the community. All of the Commissioners Court actions are online for access 24/7. All of the deed records are online. And what we can put out there through the court system as well is online. Some of those records have to be protected. But we are there and we try to get our message out to the community. And 1 million people are hard to visit in Hidalgo County, let me tell you. But if I had to bet how many more people know me than my opponent, I'd bet all the money I got in the bank right now that I'd win that.
As an elected, please summarize the key aspects of your platform and what do you hope to accomplish in this position?
Well, like I said, and you've heard us back and forth, that's what we plan to do and what I plan to do. My message is simple. I plan to get involved with the community. I plan to have an open door policy. I plan to work 40 hours a week. I encourage each and every one of you from now to February 20th, show up to the office at 8:30, 9 o'clock, 10, 10:30. You will not find the county clerk in the office. They will tell you he was at a meeting. He was meeting with constituents. I firsthand saw that when I was there. But I plan to be there 40 hours plus a week. Currently, I do 16 hours a day. My boss can attest to that if you want to ask him. I stay till 8, 9, 10 at night. And I plan to work for you all, for your taxpayers' money, because elected officials are not subject to working 10, 15 hours a week. Just like everyone else, 24/7, and I will be available to you 24/7.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's sad. It's sad to hear what he's saying. It's sad because at one time I hired him, and you know, when you decide who you're going to vote for in these positions, not only look at what they have done, look at their qualifications, look at what they've done, look at what they're doing. Come grade it for yourself, you know, and judge a person by his character as well. I mean, what kind of person runs against his boss, right? Do you know his brother works for me today? And his boss's wife works for me today. And this is, you know... We will proceed to continue the progress that you've seen in Hidalgo County. We have been first in the state of Texas to implement e-filing. We have been first in the state of Texas to implement, to digitize all our records. We were the first ones to put them online. We were the first ones to go on the cloud. And we will be the first ones to do many more things. The best is yet to come, folks. And I will be there for the next 4 years, and we will continue to be there with open doors.
This concludes the forum for the county clerk race. The next one will be the Chief Justice, 13th Court of Appeals District.
Let's see what's in my Fine, sir.
Oh man.
Ray, can you stand next to the flag, please?
Great, they want a picture with you.
She went to go with me first.
Please take a seat. We're going to start the forum for the Chief Justice, 13th Court of Appeals District. Thank you. Okay. Ready? Okay. What experience do you bring to this office? What qualifications make you the best candidate?
I'll go first. Well, good evening, everyone. Thanks for sticking around for our race. We appreciate your attention this evening, and thank you to the students from UT-RGV for doing this. I have to commend you on the great job you've done in organizing this and the good questions you're asking. I'm actually a little nervous about your questions, but I'm Justice Dory Contreras. I have just completed my 15th year of service as a justice on the court. The Chief Justice, Rogelio Valdez, is retiring, so I am running for that position because I feel that the experience that I have accumulated in the 15-year period qualifies me to be the next Chief Justice on the court. Because I have worked so closely with the judges and the staff, they know me, they trust me. I know the issues facing the court. I have what I call institutional knowledge, which is of course a lot of history with the court on important administrative decisions that have been made, and know the direction in which the court needs to be led into the future. The Chief Justice, in addition to judicial responsibilities as I currently have, handles the management of the court as well as administration of the court's budget. And because I have worked closely with our current Chief Justice, I'm very familiar with the duties, and what I don't know, I'll be sure to learn before he leaves by the end of the year. But I've also handled many administrative type responsibilities that the justices don't normally handle, and that's because the Chief has trusted me to do that. He's delegated certain things to me over the years. And the Chief Justice does more than just manage the court and the court's budget. The Chief Justice is the leader of the court and is the representative of the court statewide and nationally by serving on various committees and organizations comprised of Chief Justices from around the state. They meet regularly to collaborate on issues that are important to the courts. And also, the Chief Justice serves as a representative of the court with legislative issues, because every legislative session there are numerous bills that are proposed and passed that impact the courts, and particularly the appellate courts. So the Chief Justice has to stay on top of all that, and I've been involved in that process. In particular, one bill that's proposed every legislative session, which is to split the 13th court into two smaller courts, into two districts, and I have been involved in opposing that legislation and will continue to do so. So it's just the years that I've been on the court. I also have an accounting degree from UT, and I worked as an accountant for a number of years, like 7.5 years before I went to law school. So I'm not afraid of numbers, and so I can handle the financial responsibilities easily as well. Thank you.
Do I repeat the question or?
No, thank
Okay.
you. Well, almost 30 years ago, I was given the privilege to practice law. And yes, I worked hard to get into law school, and with the love and support of my mother, I earned my law degree. But the license to practice law carries with it a heavy responsibility. And that heavy responsibility is to serve our communities. When I was first elected by my peers 18 years ago to be one of the leaders of the State Bar of Texas, I said then that the only way to restore the public's trust and confidence in the legal system was to continually do good work and continually earn the privilege to call ourselves lawyers. Since that time, I have continued to serve my profession, continue to serve the public in many capacities that have prepared me to be the Chief Justice. For example, the day I graduated from law school, my mother told me, "Hijito, success is never measured by the money you have in your bank account, but by the difference you make in the lives of others." And as a result of that, I worked my way up and became a director of the state, one of the directors of the State Bar of Texas. I worked on the executive and budget committees of a $40 million budget. I was appointed by the Texas Supreme Court to serve on its committee that oversees lawyer discipline. I was also appointed to serve on the Texas Access to Justice Commission, which was created by the Texas Supreme Court. That commission is the commission that oversees all the programs that delivers legal services to the poor. And so you're talking about millions of dollars worth of services there. I've also served in a number of other capacities, but locally I've also served our community. I led the effort, for example, to raise $5.5 million to build that beautiful Boys and Girls Club in North McAllen that serves thousands of area youth. I've also made mission trips to Africa and supported other missions, including down in Paraguay, South America. I currently serve as the deacon for the last 7 years at my church in McAllen, Our Lady of Sorrows. I'm an axe leader in the Night of Columbus, and by the grace of God and with the help of those around me, I have been able to make a difference in the lives of thousands of Texans and other people around the globe. I believe, and I know those who are supporting me believe, that I have the experience and the passion to continue to make a positive difference by serving as your next Chief Justice on the Court of Appeals. I ask for your vote. I ask for your support.
A glaring flaw in our justice system is the ability of police officers to kill unarmed civilians while on duty and face no legal repercussions. As a judge, how will you work to correct this injustice?
Ladies first.
No, we're alternating.
Who said?
Do you guys want to alternate?
No. You can go first. Ladies first.
I'm sorry, repeat the question.
A glaring flaw in our justice system is the ability of police officers to kill unarmed civilians while on duty and face no legal repercussions. As a judge, how will you work to correct this injustice?
Well, on the appellate court, first of all, we review cases that come from the trial courts, which are the district courts and the county courts at law, where criminal cases are prosecuted. So if there were a situation like that, first of all, we wouldn't get involved if there isn't a prosecution. And as an appellate judge, we cannot get involved in any kind of legislative type issues. So if there's a problem with the system where, as you are suggesting, the police officers are not being prosecuted for killing someone while they're on duty, that is something that needs to be addressed with the legislature to perhaps change the laws that are going to enforce that type of misconduct. As appellate judges, we are limited to reviewing cases that have been prosecuted and making sure that the law was applied correctly in the lower trial courts. So we would not be getting involved in any aspect of the question that you're asking. And certainly if there are those types of injustices going on, there's other ways that people can raise their concerns and make sure that the changes take place. But that's not something that I can do as an appellate judge, because we have to maintain ourselves, conduct ourselves according to canons of judicial conduct, which means that we cannot get involved in any kind of legislative issues, and we cannot do anything that's beyond the scope of our duties.
Well, first I want to say that I am very supportive of law enforcement, because there are while there are a few bad apples, just like there are some bad apples in the legal profession, day in and day out, our law enforcement and our firefighters put their lives on the line to protect us. And we had a near break-in at my home on Thanksgiving a few years ago, and thank God for the law enforcement who came and protected my family. And there are bad apples in law enforcement and like in every other profession, and those deserve to be held to the highest standards of the law and of punishment. And as the Chief Justice of this court, what I would do is when those cases come before the court, we would make sure that they are appropriate, that the law is appropriately applied, and that what happened at the trial court is we confirm that what happened was fair and it was applied equally and applied fairly. But I'll disagree with my opponent in this respect. As the Chief Justice, the leader of the court, there are things that can be done. That can help. Number one, we're a public leader, and public leaders need to be not dividers, but uniters. And so it starts with an attitude, and an attitude of a public servant who is going to be out there talking to law enforcement agencies and talking to young people and talking to the youth and helping promote positive change. And the other thing that the Chief Justice can do is the Chief Justice, there's a Council of Chief Justices of the 14 Chief Justices in the state. There's also a Council of Chief Justices for all around the country. And the Chief Justice of this court serves on both of those councils. And while as a Chief Justice individually we can't get involved with legislative change, the Council of Chief Justices, both on the state court level and on the federal court level, can influence change when it comes to the administration of justice. And that's something I look forward to doing.
Out of respect for one of our candidates, we're going to be alternating the microphone for the questions. What have you done and what will you do to engage voters and turn out the vote?
Well, first, thank you to the young Democrats, the young progressive Democrats who have put this together, because you guys are the ones that are out there trying to register young voters and getting them involved. And so I've been trying to work off on that. And one of the things that I've done just recently is we held a meet and greet at the University Draft House. And I know we sent out hundreds of flyers in order to encourage the university students from STC and from RGV to come so that we could get to know them. And many of them did come, and I enjoyed getting to meet the young men and women who are in our universities and encouraging them to vote and discussing the issues in this court with them. The other thing that I've done is that this is a 20-county district. It's not just Hidalgo County. It also includes the entire Rio Grande Valley, all the way up the Gulf Coast, Corpus Christi, Victoria, all the way to the Buc-ee's just outside of Houston, right? So from Sullivan City to the Buc-ee's, we have a tremendous amount of territory that we've got to cover in this district. And I have been working hard for almost a year now, going out to the various communities and engaging the people and meeting the people. We have a large organization as part of this campaign. We're spending a lot of money. We've raised a lot of money. We've raised for the Court of Appeals races, and nobody, honestly, when it comes to campaigns, it's very hard to get people interested in the Court of Appeals. Most people never heard of the court. Most people don't care about the court until they have their case, that they need their case reviewed. But what we've done, and so historically, and I've been around 30 years supporting the justices on this court, including my friend Justice Dory Contreras for the last 15 years. So I know at these fundraisers, you're lucky to get maybe 30, 40, 50 people there. You're lucky to raise maybe, $5,000 to $15,000. Okay. Since I've been involved in this, with the great organization that we've been able to put together, been surrounded by great volunteers. We just got through having a fundraiser where over 300 people came, and we're so far we've been able to raise over $200,000 in support of this campaign. And my wife, thanks to her, she's here, Sandra. We've had